welcome, Hayley, to the podcast. What have you been seeing lately? Like, where have you been?
I've still been going to all my concerts and things that I like going to. I've got quite a few planned over the next few months, and we were talking earlier about bands getting back together. Two of those I plan to go to see. One I've booked already, and the second one I need to sort out what date I'm going to, but I plan to see them. First is S Club 7, and then Busted as well.
You've got to go and see S Club 7 because they haven't been, I think it was about 5 years since the last one, wasn't it?
They are the one band that I've never seen, as in completely as of their full lineup. I saw Bradley and Tina, but I've never seen them as the full seven. So it's going to be great for me to experience that because last time they did the reunion back in 2015, I actually wasn't living in the country, so hence why I couldn't go. So at least this time I get to, and I do have that booked for October and can't wait.
That's exciting. I was looking over their discography the other day and the amount of bangers that are in that. I mean, from Bring It All Back to Reach, Don't Stop Moving, Never Had a Dream Come True, S Club Party, obviously. I feel like they had a TV show at one point, which I think was quite unique for a band in that era. Because really, before that, the only other band I know that had a TV show was the Monkees. And of course, they weren't real at the beginning. So, for a real band to have a TV show was like wild. No pun intended.
I know, and also they had the film as well, Seeing Double, which is great.
Yes, it hasn't aged particularly well. Which one of the S Clubbers do you think had the best solo career?
Rachel Stevens, without a doubt.
It had to be. I mean, Sweet Dreams, My LAX was like, it seemed to be on the radio constantly, along with things like Scissor Sisters, Take Your Mama. I mean, it was proper the sound of that year, wasn't it?
Definitely, and I do like Scissor Sisters. I was actually thinking the other day, I liked them at the time, but I've grown to appreciate them more now, and I actually wish that they would get back together. I know Jake's doing a lot of solo things. I know we're kind of moving on to Scissor Sisters now, but I'm just saying they are another band that I would love to see reform as well.
I think it's likely that this will happen because when bands like S Club 7 and before them Steps and before them Take That and in the middle somewhere Boyzone get back together, inevitably you start to see other bands following suit from the same period because they're starting to tap into this nostalgia. You're going to go and see Busted too, are you?
Definitely. I just need to sort out what date I'm going to because tickets have only just gone on sale. But yeah, I can't wait. I mean, yeah, I'm so excited for that one as well.
Yeah, they had a couple of good songs, but I feel like personally for me, McFly just took what they were doing and raised the bar somewhat.
I was a fan of both bands from the start anyway. I loved them both. So I'd say Busted for me because they were first, but then I do love McFly as well. So it's just that Busted were like the first to come along. So
I feel like once they did Thunderbirds, Our Go, it kind of went downhill from there, didn't it?
I do love that song though.
It is a good song, and obviously it packed well into that movie, but compared to other songs like Sleeping with the Light On or What I Go for School For, Year 3000, obviously. I know what I was going to ask you. Who was the first pop act that you ever met in person?
Busted. And that was back in 2003 on their first tour.
Wow. So, yeah, we didn't touch upon that, whether you'd seen them before. You met them in 2003. Were you a big fan or were you just kind of there for the ride?
I was a big fan because that was like their first tour, and I was like, I think I was so gobsmacked that I remember them just getting off the tour bus and they're like just there, and I went with one of my best mates who wasn't really a fan. She just tagged along, but I was just like, oh my god! And then the start of many because I met them quite a few times afterwards, and McFly as well. So
well, yeah, because they supported them for a little while. I haven't been to many pop concerts. How many do you think you've been to?
someone asked me that when I went to see Carly Rae Jepsen last month, and when I was there, someone asked me the same question, And I said, "Do you really want to know?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "I reckon it's about 2,000 concerts."
2,000?
Yeah.
Now, are you counting when you go to like Butlins weekends and you see like 10 acts? You like each one is a concert.
That's including all the TV shows that I used to go to as well. So CD UK, Top the Pops, that's any performance. All the road shows that I used to go to. So anything that's a performance.
Now, we're strolling down an alley that I don't think we've ever been down. You went to CD UK.
I did. I used to live there. I was there all the time.
And who did you see?
I was always there for Busted or McFly. Because I used to follow them like everywhere.
It's
So
like the dying embers of CD UK.
yeah, and Top the Pops as well.
And what year would that have been?
So that would have been probably from 2003 up to, I'm trying to think when CDK ended. I would have said probably about 2006, 2007, that time. But yeah, it was great because you could apply for tickets and they were free. And I used to apply for tickets and they used to add me on the list because you used to get a notification whether you'd been accepted. They put your name on the list, and I used to go there like pretty much most weekends on the Saturday morning.
And mostly just for Busted, like you say.
Yeah, Busted on McFly. And then when Busted split and James from Busted did it, and Matt from Busted did their own thing, I was not really a fan of Charlie's Fight Star band because they weren't really my thing, but it was either for James' band, Son of Dog, or Matt, because Matt Willis or McFly, anything that they did, I used to try and go to see them as much as possible. It's like Son of Dog, they did Top the Pops. I went to see Son of Dog at Top the Pops, and I used to meet up with all my gigging friends. I used to see the same old faces there, every week or whatever.
Because Matt Willis released a solo album, didn't
He
he?
did,
Was
yeah.
it Don't Let It Get to Waste or something?
Yeah, Don't Let It Go to Waste. And he won I'm a Celebrity. And so did Dougie as well. He on McFly, he won I'm a Celebrity
I
as
thought you were
well.
about to tell me, and I was in Australia.
No, I'm not that far. But the furthest I've actually travelled to see someone, because back in the day I used to go to Northern Ireland. Used to go to Belfast and I used to go to Dublin, so Republic of Ireland, to see them. But Lady Gaga, I went to Norway to see her once. I think that's the furthest I've actually travelled to see someone perform.
Was that an indoor or an outdoor gig?
That was indoors.
You see, you could just imagine like outdoor gigs and seeing all that scenery.
It was beautiful because it was in December, so it would have been too cold to be outside anyway. But the snow was lovely. I remember how picturesque it was as well.
That's exciting. It sounds like you've done a lot of following bands around, and you've done that whole thing. How many bands do you think you've met in person?
A lot. It was mainly Buster McFly. I've met A1, and then there's solo artists. I've met Alicia Dixon before. I mean, it's mainly my frequent bands that I used to go to see that I'd meet the most. But then there's some bands that I will pay and obviously do the meet and greets for. But sometimes I just wait outside the venues to meet them as well. Carly Rae Jepsen, I've met her as well. She's someone else. We just mentioned her earlier on. There's lots of different ones. I'm going to see an artist called Ava Max next month. I've paid meet and greet to meet her next month as well. So sometimes I'll pay for the meet and greet. Depends on the artist, and I kind of normally stick to a budget when it comes to meet and greets to see how much it is, and then make a decision whether I feel that it's justified, or I'll try and wait outside the venue and see if they come out. And also depends on the weather. Don't want to get too cold or anything, or wait outside too long for them to come out. So I kind of judge it. And plus, I'm not as young as I was back then, so whether I feel up to it a lot as well. So
How did you go about this stuff? I mean, did you instinctively know where the stage door was?
normally there's an area where you see like the crew in that coming in and out and stuff, and the fans kind of like all um, congregate together in a certain area and can tell where the band's going to come out or whereabouts they go when they arrive and stuff. So we kind of like suss it out between us, kind of thing. So
I mean, I couldn't do that. All that waiting. I mean, certainly not knowing if anything's going to happen. And you're right about the meet and greets. You do have to judge, I think, whether it's worth it or not. And
yeah.
I do look back in hindsight and think, oh, I wish I'd got the meet and greet tickets. It was only 80 quid more, but I feel like, it was justified to get the tickets.
Oh, at least if I pay for the meet and greet, I haven't got to stand out there for ages, like in the cold or whatever, waiting. I know I'm going to definitely see them or whatever. And it's like, do I, don't I? And it's like, oh, if there's not a meet and greet option, like how long do you give it until they come out? And because it was like that with Kylie Rae Jepsen, we waited outside for afterwards, and we waited quite a while, and we were like, do we give it this much longer? Do we give it that much longer? And we were like, we set a time limit, and then she came out, and we were like, it got very cold. We were like, yeah, no, it was worth the wait, but we were cold, but it was worth it. So, but yeah, she's a really good artist, and I'm looking forward to seeing Ava Max next month as well. That's one to look forward to. And then we're doing actually Clubland as well, so it's like loads of like Bass Hunter and all that. We're looking forward to going to that one next month. That's going to be fun.
The only thing I know about Bass Hunter is that he had a couple of songs in the mid 2000s that were bangers, and then he appeared on Celebrity Big Brother, and I think it was one of the first instances of like a DJ of that type appearing on reality television, because I remember there was a period in the early 2000s when I was at school. Everyone was really into DJ Sammy. Heaven was a big hit at the time, the cover of the Bryan Adams song. I remember someone got the album, they were like, I'm really confused because there's a man on the front cover. And it's like, yeah, because Heaven by DJ Sammy is like DJ Sammy featuring featured artist. DJ Sammy
right,
isn't the woman singing, it's the featured artist. So that did confuse, I think.
Yeah. He's actually there next month as well at Clubland. He's one of the other artists that's there, yeah.
Hayley, see, I'm reading your mind. Reading your mind. I mean, what a time.
Can you believe it's like 20th anniversary of Clubland as well? I mean, that's crazy that, all the Clubland stuff like 20 years ago. And then next month as well, we've got another Swiftageddon. We love our Swiftageddons, which is like the club night dedicated to Taylor Swift. We love that. I'm waiting on the next Taylor Swift re-record. I know you're not that much of a fan of the new re-records, but I'm looking forward to it. We're all hoping it's Speak Now, and then the next thing we're waiting for is for her to announce her UK tour, which I really can't wait for. And then in May, we've got 2 more Butlins coming out, and then we've got hopefully another Swiftageddon, and hopefully Michael Jackson, another Michael Jackson tribute night as well. So we've got a lot going on in May as well.
Do you ever sleep?
I'm literally constantly planning stuff all the time.
Oh, goodness.
Hamster wheel, isn't it? Like constantly on the go.
I know, because every time I talk to you, like, I've got 20 gigs coming up. No wonder you've had like 2,000 gigs.
It definitely is a hobby. I love it. That's what I mean. During the pandemic, it's horrible for me because I couldn't do anything. But it was torture not being able to do anything.
I know, and that's why. Well, you were able to bring your expertise and experience to the roundtables and stuff, which I'm very grateful for, because it sounds like we're digging ever deeper every time I talk to you, and it's utterly incredible the amount of things that you've done. Did you ever get a situation where like you'd go home and watch a TV program and you go, I can see myself?
Well, it kind of got an aim of mine in the end to try and get on TV every time I was on CD UK, because certain family members would be like, oh, there's Hayley again. So yeah, I used to try and get as close to the camera to get in shot as possible, as much as I could do.
I mean, that's cooler than my claim to fame. In 2009, I was on an episode of Flog It.
Oh, that's cool.
I was doing some running. I was a runner for the day. They came to Skegness. when I was living up there. And
Yeah.
they were like, can you just stand here and mind people, make sure people are coming through, because basically they're all sitting down and you have to make sure that they move in a line. And I noticed to my left that they were filming a segment and a camera was
Yeah.
pointing directly. They were filming the person from the side, and I thought, they're going to catch me. They're going to catch me in the thing. They would have filmed that in mid to late 2008, and it was broadcast in 2009. And then it was repeated again when I moved back here. But I remember watching the program, and obviously they do that thing where they like blur out the eyes. But I was like, that's definitely me in the background
Oh,
of this feature. And so, yeah, whenever I see the repeat, it's like 18-year-old me is just minding his own business. That's my claim to fame. Other than being on an episode of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here Now, that is my claim to fame.
well, that's cool as well.
Because I was almost like one of the early like viral stars, because if you remember, I don't know how much of an I'm a Celeb fan you are, but there was a point where I think a couple of celebrities had written a song on I'm a Celebrity, and I went to YouTube in its early days and did my own version of it. And
Oh, okay.
that started, and suddenly ITV are messaging me going, your version has got more hits than the actual version at that particular moment in time. And so they wanted to use the video. And so, yeah, that was a very strange moment, because viral in those days was a bit different. This is 2008, and it was only 8,000 views, which isn't very much. These days, to get a viral video, you've got to have like 400,000.
Yeah.
But for 8,000 views, and it got me on ITV2. It's not as cool as being in CD UK or Top of the Pops.
And then seeing the same crew or up there every week, or camera people, the people in the studio that know you, that they see you so regular. Oh no, name to shame.
That's pretty awesome. Well, I guess we should wrap this up after this very like whirlwindy conversation. I need to go away, do some research, and come back and ask you more questions about your days of kind of following these things around, because that's pretty cool. Now I understand. I understand that when you do that, when you find something that makes you feel like that, you do tend to want to do it again, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And at the end of the day, if it makes you happy, then why not? It's the most important thing, to be happy in life. So yeah.
Exactly. And I think many people will agree with that. Thanks once again, Hayley, for being a guest on the podcast.